Ladies and gentlemen, you will not believe what I'm about to tell you, okay? You are not going to believe what I'm about to read you in The Hill, January 19th, 2020. When I read you this, you are just going to shake your head in disbelief or laugh. So make sure you're not eating anything. Make sure you're sitting down. If you're driving, get ready to listen to something both amusing and absurd and just the quintessential, the epitome of what Democrats are all about. January 19, 2020, 10:30 a.m., The Hill, by Mike Lillis. House Democrats may call new impeachment witnesses if Senate doesn't. Pelosi is going to call witnesses in the House simultaneously to the Senate. Now, understand the arrogance and the narcissism. I mean, you're talking about pure narcissism. The egotistical nature of the Democratic Party. The Senate is run by Republicans and Mitch McConnell. They will not, as of right now, there aren't going to be Democratic Party witnesses. If there are, then Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, and most of the GOP will force and issue a congressional demand, a subpoena, to Joe Biden, Hunter, the intelligence operative Schiff. Ken Starr has already stated, Ken Starr and Trump's legal team has already stated that if Democrats get witnesses, Republicans will get witnesses in the Senate also. That's really bad for Democrats. They don't want that. So what they're going to do is, well, they don't want Hunter to testify, and they don't want Joe Biden to testify, but they don't want them even just as important because they're not going to testify under oath under any circumstances. So what they'll do is they'll fight in the courts any demand to testify, even though they're at the heart of all of this. Joe Biden's campaign is already done. Clinton is going to be nominee eventually. We don't know how, but we know that Clinton will become nominee. I am the only person on planet Earth saying this right now, and I've been saying the same thing since 2017, and my article is below. Clinton 2020 is a reality. Get ready for 8 years of Trump. In the Huffington Post. But here, key House Democrats pressing the Senate to hear from new witnesses in President Trump's impeachment trial are leaving the door open to another possibility, calling those witnesses themselves if Senate Republicans do not. Think about how this helps Democrats. They have the media fawning this maniacal, rabid activist. They're not journalists, they're activists posing as journalists. Really. So you have media who are going to say, oh my God, the Senate isn't hearing this? And this is a brilliant ploy stunt by Pelosi. So the Senate's going to have its impeachment trial, which is what the Constitution states. Constitution doesn't, I guess, prevent Pelosi from hearing impeachment witnesses simultaneously while the Senate trial is going on. So then they get media to say, can you imagine what Bolton just said? Oh my goodness, Mulvaney. Oh my goodness, Trump's proctologists, neighbors, friends, hairdresser. Oh my God. And the Senate is refusing to hear this. So what they're going to do is they're going to appeal to the public through the media, distorting everything. It'll still be gossip and hearsay. There will still be no direct evidence that Trump withheld military assistance because he was afraid of the No Malarkey bus tour, because Biden is Trump's direct political rival. It is not Clinton, who's still keeping the door open. As long as the door is open, which it still is, Clinton is keeping the door open. Wonder why? Because she's going to become nominee. It's not like a peculiar mentality that I have. It's just basic understanding of human nature when it comes to somebody like Madam Secretary. The Golden Moo is not going to relinquish political influence to Biden. Can you imagine if people say, but AJ, can you imagine Hillary Clinton campaigning for Joe Biden? I want you to ask yourself that, even if you think I'm wrong about Clinton being nominee. Can you imagine Hillary Clinton campaigning for Bernie Sanders or Warren? But think about that for a second. This is Madam Secretary. I am wholeheartedly endorsing Joe Biden. I want you to vote for Joe Biden. Can you imagine that world? That will, even in alternate realities, that would never happen. But anyway, House Democrats impeached Trump last month on 2 charges related to his handling of foreign policy in Ukraine, but their investigations into the issues remain open, even as the spotlight turns to the launch of the Senate trial. So from Pelosi's perspective, from Democrats' perspective, they're saying, well, you know what? Nothing's preventing us from from launching further investigations. Nothing's preventing us, so we might as well just... I mean, their whole thing is... They're hilarious. Their whole thing is, well, you can have the Senate, Mitch McConnell, but we'll try to undercut or overshadow or undermine or sabotage whatever media could possibly be favorable to Trump when he actually defends himself with Ken Starr and an amazing legal team. And we'll just run parallel hearings because we haven't had enough. So they haven't failed enough. Do you understand? They haven't failed enough. They want to fail even more. Isn't the best? Okay, so... they want Lev Parnas. Oh, great. Democrats in both chambers are hoping the emergence of new evidence and eyewitnesses. See, they call everything evidence, but with Clinton, it's not evidence. Like, the evidence that they call for Trump would never be considered evidence for Clinton. So if it's like an email, they would never be evidence for Clinton because guess what? They're deleted. They're deleted. Yeah. Where are the emails showing direct evidence of the quid pro quo between the Clinton Foundation? Oh, that's right. They were deleted. 30,000 plus emails deleted because they were all about yoga. And guess who decided what was work-related and classified? Oh, that's right. Clinton's attorneys. So, this is really hilarious. I mean, it's really hilarious. But anyway, Democrats in both chambers are hoping the emergence of new evidence and witness offers to testify will force Senate GOP leaders to consider the unexplored information. Unexplored. Because you see, when they would try to impeach Trump, they didn't go after Trump with everything they had. They kept some. They kept some information, including captivating details of Trump's pressure campaign. Recently, captivating details of Trump's pressure campaign. Oh, so captivating. The guy is caught for a crime he committed, and oh my goodness, he wants a reduced sentence, so he's selling his soul to Democrats. Recently provided by Lev Parnas, a Soviet-born businessman with close ties to Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani. Most Senate Republicans, taking cues from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, oppose any effort to seek testimony from Parnas and other key figures who refused to cooperate in the initial House investigation. A list that includes John Bolton, Trump's former national security advisor, who has since changed his tune and offered to testify under subpoena. So, the House didn't make an issue with Bolton. Pelosi didn't make an issue with Bolton. Or Parnas, by the way. Parnas was indicted prior to the House impeachment. This is hilarious. So, what they've done, it's basically like a play that, or a sequel. They don't want to give away the sequel, so they don't want to put all the entire story in one episode or one play. So then they prolong it. They deliberately didn't have Parnas or Bolton testify in the House, and they didn't push the issue because they said, well, we have nobody else. And this is pretty much a done deal based on gossip and hearsay. We have nothing on Trump. So what we'll do is we'll pretend we want Bolton and Mulvaney, but we won't make a big issue about it. And we'll just wait until the Senate, and then we'll say, you don't want Bolton and Mulvaney, and now we have Parnas. How dare you? You're trying to hide. This is a cover-up. Yet even if McConnell has his way and prevents new witnesses from appearing, they may find a stage in the House where a number of Democrats are already advocating for their testimony if they're silenced by the Senate. This will be hilarious. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if Pelosi's like, no, watch us. Watch this, the House. This is where it's really happening. The Senate is just a fake ploy by Trump. Don't notice how they love the levers of government only when it works for them. If it's anything, if it's government that doesn't work for them, like, they're going after political opponents. He's an authoritarian. Oh, he's a despot. Oh, despot, authoritarian. This is the Democratic Party. Trump is a despot and authoritarian. What was it that you want to do with the Electoral College and the courts? Oh, well, we want to, erase the Electoral College from the Constitution and pack the courts. You don't see how that is more of an authoritarian type of thing to do? No, it's exactly what the founders wanted. Well, then why did they put the Electoral College in there? or the way the Supreme Court is created with 9 justices? Why wouldn't they just say, well, if a political party wants to pack the courts, they can? So Democrats are hilarious. So this is great. Quote, we would be remiss in the House of Representatives not to follow this trail to its conclusion. Well, there is no conclusion, and it's a fantasy. The conclusion is Clinton 2020, and or the dark recesses of deranged imbeciles within the Democratic Party whose neuroses and eccentricities and scorned sensibilities run the show. Democrats, the most scorned people. And the thing is, they also have... What is really annoying is that the media... What's annoying is that media is part of the picture here. So, media is part of this scorned political machine. So you have to hear this nonsense, and you're going to hear, like, well, what's really going on in the House is much more important. Don't you understand? The Senate is where the cover-up is, but the House, oh my God, Lev Parnas called Trump an evil monster? Oh my God. John Bolton said Trump doesn't know anything about foreign policy? That would be funny. If John Bolton, who knows nothing about foreign policy, has been wrong on everything. Don't you love, and the only reason he was hired is to appease Democrats and Republicans. You think Trump cared about what Bolton said? You think Trump cared about what Bolton said? No. He hired Bolton. He's like, look, I'm hiring an establishment. He wants military intervention. See, I'm not going to bring home Americans. It's fine. Then he fires Bolton and he wants to bring home Americans, which is his stated foreign policy. First president to step foot in North Korea. Was there, God forbid, a war with Iran? No, there wasn't. Democrats, every single thing they say has been wrong. Clinton could win Arizona. Wrong. The Russians hacked the DNC to inform the country that Bernie Sanders was cheated. Unproven. Almost certainly wrong. The ODNI report, read the intelligence reports. They're highly confident it took place. They're not certain. Trump worked with Russia. Wrong. Trump's going to be removed from office because he worked from Russia and Mueller's going to indict him. Wrong. The Mueller report hasn't exonerated Trump. Wrong. Of course the Mueller report exonerated Trump. Every single allegation against him was proven wrong, false, by Mueller. Then they say, well, he met with people and his people met with people. So what? Why didn't they get indicted? Then they fall back on a Justice Department memo, which, by the way, is not law. Okay? That's not law. If president goes into a bank and robs the bank, he's going to be indicted. They're not going to say, well, we can't really indict him. It's a department policy. Comey, Clinton, they all, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Kleinsmith, you think it's department policy? You think it's FBI rules and guidelines on policy and Justice Department policy for 17 times an FBI official falsifies information? You think that's rules and regulations? You think the State Department did an internal probe about rules and regulations? Clinton broke all of them. We still don't know how Clinton transferred top secret and special access program intelligence from secure locations within the United States government. We still don't know. So, we would be remiss in the House of Representatives not to follow this trail to its conclusion. And Parnas has emerged as an important figure in this criminal conspiracy to force and coerce a foreign government to help Trump's re-election campaign. That's also a big problem that Democrats have. Americans, it is not part of American culture to blame other countries for your problems. No one says, oh my God, I was fired from work today. Russia! I stubbed my toe. Russia! The average person in this country doesn't, we've already, even during the Cold War, it's not like we feared a confrontation, a military confrontation, but we didn't blame our problems on the Soviet Union. They were an adversary, but we didn't blame our problems. Democrats have taken the McCarthy era to a new level. It's this miserable lack of self-awareness, but also this miserable excuse-making. We lost because they interfered. The DNC emails showed that Bernie Sanders was cheated. I am probably the only person on the planet who keeps saying that every day. Even Bernie has forgotten about it. Oh, what? Was I cheated? Forget about it. I'm trying to fight the 1%. How do I know this? Because Tom Steyer and Michael Bloomberg are running for president. That's how afraid they are of me. Bernie, the only time Bernie could have won is when I said that he was on his way or could be winning, that he was the front runner, not Clinton. That was in 2015, 2016. I was right. Bernie could have won. Democrats cheated him. Thank God Trump won. 5 million people lifted out of poverty. Poverty rate decreases from 12.7 to 11.3%, and that's just 2018 figures. 2019 is probably a lot more than 5 million people. And the poverty rate is probably reduced a lot by a greater margin. Record low Black and Latino unemployment. Record low. The unemployment rate for Hispanic and Latino men is below the national average. So, you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, it's unbelievable. First president to step foot in North Korea. First Step Act. Fixing a trade imbalance or addressing a trade imbalance that Democrats were too cowardly to address, and Republicans, without the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Democrats love these multilateral, multinational agreements. Don't you know the UK and France and everyone else and other countries, they're agreeing with us. We are shaking hands and we are hugging each other. Yeah, well, ask the people of Libya if they think that NATO is a great thing. They don't. It was a failed intervention. Just because a whole bunch of Western countries agree with one another doesn't mean that they possess wisdom. Give me your thoughts below. Check out A. Trey Goodman's other channel right this second. My God. The House, they're going... They're going to run a parallel impeachment again in the House just to try to overshadow the Senate. You're talking, how petulant can you get? Give me your thoughts below. If you want to support my voice long term, my Patreon is below in the pinned comment. Thank you.